Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elka Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold $15 million and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, which teaches our 5 strategies for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't helping creative entrepreneurs just like you create profitable e-commerce businesses, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you, the creative, can take to make money in your e-commerce business on Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to achieving freedom with your time, location, and finances.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of, as long as you work smarter, not harder. And we're here to give you the tools you need to make your dreams happen. Let's get started. Well, hey there, it's Elka, and I am here to give you an incredible presentation. It's going to be day 4 of the Scale Your Zazzle Business Challenge, and we are going to be talking to you, it's just going to be me today, the 5 biggest mistakes to avoid when scaling your Zazzle business. It's a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It has made a transformation in my business on Zazzle that has been life-changing, and I am going to talk to you about all those mistakes that I made and that I now avoid, and because of that, I have become very successful on the Zazzle platform. So I am I'm part of a mother and daughter duo team. Jennifer is my daughter, and obviously I, on the right-hand side there with my colorful dress on, am the mother of the two. Although I sometimes joke and say I'm the daughter, and it's just for fun. I wish I would have known about Zazzle 20 years earlier. I would have just rocked this thing. If I still was Jen's age, I would just be set for life, because this platform and this business model is just to die for. I worked so hard before to try and make money being creative. And then Zazzle came along. And this is why we're going to talk to you today about this, because we're very passionate about the fact that Zazzle has changed our lives. The ability for us to earn money online, being creative using the Zazzle platform, has just changed everything for us. And not only has it changed our ability to earn money, but to have the time freedom to do things like travel and give back and take care of our family. Because when I first started on Zazzle, one thing that I had in mind is I wanted to quit my day job and stay home with my kids. And I'm sure that if you're listening to this and this is what you've been dreaming of all this time, and you're still on your 9 to 5 going do I ever see my kids before they're grown up and leaving the house? Then might be an opportunity for you that you haven't considered. And same with Jen. She was in university, and she goes I don't know if I want this desk job. I want to see where life takes me, but I still want to make some good, decent money, and I want to travel. So she started on Zazzle and started to be successful with it, so that she was actually able to live in Spain for 10 years. And during that time, she's traveled a lot, and she was able to afford her own apartment and her own car, and all on her Zazzle income. And so now, fast forward 14 years, we're still on the Zazzle platform. We've made over $1.5 million and counting between the two of us. That means we've sold $15 million worth of Zazzle products, because we set our royalty at 10%. And that $1.5 million is in our pockets. And our expenses are our internet, our computers, our time, and anything that we might buy in terms of graphics or something. But it's very profitable, our business. We don't have to deal with customers. We don't have to deal with billing. We don't have to deal with sales tax. We don't have to deal with customer service. We don't have to deal with shipping or product fulfillment. Zazzle does all that for us. And so if you've yet to hear about Zazzle, this could be the best thing ever for you, because it's a step in the process and just start working and getting paid because you're selling really good products. Or if you've been on Zazzle for a while and you go wow, you paint this completely different picture than I had as my experience on Zazzle. I'm frustrated. I'm upset that I'm not making money. I've given this like the same amount of years as you. How come I'm not making 1.5 million? Then you're here in the right spot because maybe you haven't been taking the right actions. And this is the time to get that started and to actually take those right actions so that you can effectively see the results. The other thing that's on this little like blurb about us in the slides, if you're listening to this as a podcast, don't worry. But in terms of the slide presentation, for you that's watching this, it says worked 4 to 20 hours a month. And this is something I want to really hone in on. You know, the 4-Hour Work Week with Tim Ferriss, I read that book and it's like, I want that. And it's like, how the heck can I get that? And he opened my eyes up to the internet and the fact that if you make something once and you have it passively continuing to sell and make money for you, then that is the dream goal. And so then when Zazzle came along, I realized that, yeah, that's exactly what Zazzle's all about. And I want you to understand that you could do that as well. When we first start our students out, we tell them 20 hours a month, and we give them actually in our Profit by Design Academy, the schedule and the way to do that. And then as you're maintaining your business, you can get down to 4 hours a month because that's what we do. We still make the same amount of money and we just manage our business for about 4 hours a month. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have students now. When we've, about 3 years ago, we decided that there are many people on Zazzle that could use our help because they are amazing artists, graphic designers, surface pattern designers, photographers, and yet they're not making any money. And they're just on the forums getting really upset that Zazzle's, not allowing them to make money. And it's like, no, it's not Zazzle that's not allowing you to make money. It's that you're not creating it as a business. You're making a bunch of mistakes. And I know if you're on watching this or listening to this right now and you're going like, holy smokes, what did she just say? Is that an insult? It's like, no, it's like, I really want to help you. And I want you to understand that it's not you, it's the actions you're taking. And I feel really strongly because I'm very, I'm an empath. I like feel for you, even though it's not my, I'm not in your Zazzle store. I don't, earn your Zazzle earnings, but I just feel really badly because I want you to succeed. You should be succeeding if you have a really great design skill or set that you can leverage, and customers would really love your stuff if you were able to be found in the marketplace, if you treat it as a business and you promote and you put your designs on the right products and so on. So this is one of the things that's started the business 3 years ago when we said, let's help people. Let's help people understand that it's not them, it's their actions. And so since then, we've created what's called the 5 strategies, and we have a course that teaches that, which is the Profit by Design Academy. And we are holding boot camps every so often, including, you can check when you watching this or listening to this, you can check, but we do have one on April 19th starting for 10 weeks, and that's 2021. And we hold them every so often, so you can double check back with us if you're listening to this later. But the idea is to get the Profit by Design Academy course completed. It's not just an intellectual course. It's a course where you do the work. When you do the coursework, you are actually creating your business. And so it's a do-it course. It's not, a listen-to-it course. And so you're implementing the 5 strategies through the teachings in the Profit by Design Academy. And that has been so successful for other students. And those 5 strategies are what we use to make our money. And we don't hold anything back. We are just here to help you. And so that $6 million that our students have now made on Zazzle is starting to get close to the 15 million that we've made on Zazzle. It's awesome because there's an abundance of opportunity on Zazzle, and everyone has to understand that. And it's not going to come through you copying someone else. It's not going to come through you, looking to see what's the popular product and making something like it. That's just like riding on someone else's coattails for a couple of days or months, and then your income is going to drop and it's not going to be pretty. Instead, what we teach is a long-term passive income opportunity where you are going to build out your own designs and brands so that you personally are going to showcase something unique and special on this marketplace. And that's why customers are going to come to you, and they're going to be able to buy from you consistently long term. And they're going to bring their friends, and they're going to tell people about it. And you're going to end up being very happy. So because of that coaching and teaching style, we have actually now been named top e-commerce coaches in 2020 by Yahoo Finance. So we know our stuff and we're ready here to help you. So if you're listening to this as a podcast, or if you're coming to this as on the challenge that we have here, then welcome. If you are here because you're brand new and you want to learn about Zazzle and what it takes to be successful on Zazzle, you're in the right spot. If you've already been on Zazzle but are making very little money and maybe even resonated with what I said before, and you're here with an open mind to check out what it is that might be holding you back, then welcome. And also, if you're already making a lot of money on Zazzle, but you just want to scale, because that's what it says, Scale Your Zazzle Business Challenge. And so you're here in the right place, because we're going to teach you some really core pieces that you need as part of your foundation of your business. And if you don't do these, you're never going to be able to scale. I can guarantee you that. I can't make any income claim statements, but I can definitely guarantee a couple of things, and that's one of them. So this is day 4 of day 5 of the challenge. And so we are live every day at 2 p.m. And so we still have one more day tomorrow, so make sure you come back again. But in the meantime, enjoy this session, and we are going to rock your socks off with this, because we're going to do this masterclass. It's a mini masterclass, and it's the 5 biggest mistakes to avoid when scaling your Zazzle business. We're going to talk to you more and give you an information session about the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp, so that you can make an informed decision as to whether this is the time when you want to work with us or not. And then we're going to give you a fast action bonus at the end of this day, so that you can be more swayed to actually be part of the Profit by Design Academy. Even if you thought you were going to do it tomorrow, you're going to do it today, because you get this fast action bonus, but it's only for today. All right. So welcome to the 5 biggest mistakes to avoid when scaling your Zazzle business mini masterclass. All right. So let's dive right into the first mistake. This is very, very important. It's not establishing your business properly. So what does that mean? It means that you don't have a proper store setup. It means there's no branding and there is no defined avatar. Now, if you've been part of our challenge since the beginning, then you'll know that in day 1, we already did some stuff with branding, and we showed you how to do that in your store setup on your homepage. Obviously, there's more to store setup and there's more to branding, but that was a really big, aha moment for a lot of people, that they needed to do that with their Zazzle store homepage. And now let me know in the chat if you think that was really helpful, because, and especially if you've already changed things and implemented them. That's the whole point of this challenge, is to take action every single day. I reward action takers, just like I'm going to do today. If you take action today, you'll get an extra bonus, which is a fast action bonus, because you're doing actions fast. So you learned about it on Monday. So why don't you do that action now, so that you can make it an impact as soon as possible. And so this is part of the mistakes that people make, is first of all, they hear about it, they see it, maybe they even know about it, but they don't take action. So by making this mistake, what you're doing is you're taking a risk. And these are the risks that are going to end up happening and being part of your reality if you don't make this mistake go away. All right. So if improper store setup, you're going to have people that can't find anything in your store, and they're going to leave with frustration. But that's definitely not going to be a sales, success. So you won't make sales. That I can guarantee. Branding, no branding. The risk there is that people aren't going to know, like, and trust you. That's the whole part about branding, is to improve and smooth over the sales cycle. So they need to be able to know you, like what you're doing, trust you that you're going to deliver on what you're going to give them. And a lot of that starts with branding and your messaging. And if you don't do that effectively, then you won't end up having any sales, because the last thing that people need, like they might like your stuff, they might do like a whole bunch of stuff, they might know of you, but if they don't trust you, they're not going to put down their cash. And so this is an extremely very important part of the entire branding process, and you're not going to get any sales. So also, no defined avatar. That means that you're actually targeting the wrong customers, and of course they're not going to buy. And so your risk is that you're going to be working really hard, targeting the wrong customer, and there is no chance you're going to sell. So I want you to post in the chat if this mistake is a mistake you make, and if you do this. And I want you to be that active in the chat all the time. Now, if you're watching this as a replay, still be active in the chat. You're going to learn more if you're active. Also, make sure you take notes. And if you want to, you can always screenshot any of these that really resonate with you. But there are copyrighted training materials, so you can't distribute them elsewhere. But you can certainly keep these for personal use so that you can remember all these mistakes and things and what you can do about it. All right, so what about rewards for avoiding this mistake? Because we want to give you incentive, right? It's one thing to go like, shame on you, you're doing this mistake. But what about a reward? And for you, the reward is the most important thing, right? Like, what is it that you're going to get out of this for making that change and avoiding that mistake? And so in this case, for not establishing your business properly, if you actually do avoid that mistake, then what you're going to do is get more sales, and you're going to have a really good solid foundation to grow your business. And that's what this is all about. Remember, long-term passive income. And that's something that we strive for to get people's heads around. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not some place where you're going to make like $100,000 in a month. You can do that on Amazon or, like go to town on the Shopify store and sell cat socks from China. That's kind of the, volume you would need. You have to sell a lot to a lot of people. You have to pay a lot of ads and all that stuff. And so that's not what we're doing here. We're building a long-term passive income on Zazzle, which takes time because it's a proper business. And we forget that when we first start. And actually, I'm like foreshadowing one of the other mistakes. So would you like this if this was your reward for fixing that mistake? Of course. And so you can put that in the chat just so you feel better, because I really want you to be active in this. So what do you need to do about this in order to avoid this mistake? Well, as you can see, and you're going to see over the next little bit, the things that you're doing is wrong are the things you have to do right. So we do need a professional Zazzle store. We need to have a clear branding message, and we need to define a specific avatar that we can target. And it's not one person, it's a niche area, or it's a group of people with certain likes. But by using an avatar exercise, which we do in the Profit by Design Academy, what you can do is you can get very clear, even though you maybe narrowed it down to one person, you can get very clear about a group of people that you can use to target who are all very similar to your avatar that you come up with. And so if you would like to do this, put yes in the chat. And for all of you on the podcast listening to this, just go yes, just to make, like, if you're in the car, that's great by yourself. If you're in like a cafe or listening to this, then just go like maybe yes in your mind. Otherwise, everyone's going to look at you. But the most important part is you're in, right? You're in, you're not going to make this mistake. And that's really important because that's going to contribute to your success on Zazzle. So for everyone listening to this as a podcast, maybe you can catch this on video on YouTube later, because we're going to put this up probably. But in the meantime, sign up for the challenge and you get this as a replay. And so you can see the visuals. So what you're going to do here is look at this. This is a professional store setup. It's actually one of my stores that I'm going to showcase to you. And it's my store. Please don't copy. This is my active store on Zazzle. And I want you to respect my copyright. And all the designs here are not something you can copy either. It's all legitimately my copyright. And if you use it, I can legally take your store off of Zazzle. And so we don't want that for you. So just to be clear, the reason why this store is professional is because I have a really good logo. I have a good clear messaging. I have a professional looking banner. I have my face showing under the designer. A lot of people recently are trying to just like scam the system here. That's not what Zazzle's all about. In fact, Zazzle has now just recently implemented that you need to have your picture showing here, and a good picture, one that is you, not just someone else, or, put something fake up there, because the whole reason people come to Zazzle is because they want to identify with these indie designers who are selling on this major platform, which is you. And you have to be, you have to own your stuff. You have to own your art, your creativity. That's why people would come and shop at your stores, because you have designed this, you've created this. This is part of the know, like, and trust factor. And also you have to put your name underneath in terms of, Like in mine, it says Clark Designs. That's my company. And I just want you to make people feel very like as if they can trust you when they buy from you. And so that's the components that are seen here, that it's really well organized. It's clearly defined as to what I'm offering. I'm targeting a very specific group. I'm not targeting everybody, just targeting my specific avatar, and everything looks nice and clean and professional. And so these are the reasons why I'm going to get more sales doing this. And this is how you can help yourself as well. Okay, mistake number 2, no production plan and no scale plan. Put in the chat if this is you. You're creating and posting products for sale without researching what would sell and what doesn't sell. You're not keeping your avatar in mind when you're posting your products. You're thinking that lots of products equals lots of sales. And you don't have a proven plan. You're just kind of throwing spaghetti against the wall like this picture. And we talk about this a lot. If you've heard anything else from us, it's like, just use throwing spaghetti against the wall to test for pasta readiness, not because it's a way to do a Zazzle business. Throwing spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks is amazing for pasta. It works all the time. A little bit messy on the walls, but it works. But it doesn't work for your Zazzle products. It doesn't help you scale. It doesn't help you get those sales in the first place, because all you're doing is throwing stuff at the customer and going like, do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? And it's like, no, I came here for something specific. Where is that? And so your strategy, and then if you don't even have that production strategy set up so that you're delivering on what they want, then you are going to be lost, right? So you're going to waste your time. You're going to make products that won't ever sell. You're going to be super disappointed and frustrated and overwhelmed by the time you're done. And at some point, you're going to give up, and you'll realize that you're not getting ahead. And the most important thing is you're not going to actually fully realize your earning potential. Or in another way, you're never realizing your full earning potential. Right? It's not just a little bit. It's you're never going to realize your full earning potential. And the reason for that is because you're going to be in your own little head, just like we are in our heads. And we just go like, okay, whatever is in our reality, that's what we assume and base our assumptions on. And so if I wasn't making more than $100 a month, I would assume that that's the normal. Whereas if I was making $10,000 a month, I would assume that's the normal. But unless I knew that I could make 10,000, I wouldn't think that that's the normal. Whereas if I'm making 100 and I see someone else making $10,000 a month, then I go like, ooh, that'd be nice. So that's a new normal. That means proof that someone else is making it. But you don't have any proof yet that you can do it. And so what you're doing is you're already, before you even get there, you go like, that's nice for that person, but it won't be okay for me because I'm not going to actually be able to get there because you don't have any proof that it's possible for you. But if that's only because you've made this mistake, right? You don't have a production plan and a scaling plan to even give it a shot. And so what I want you to do is think of the reward. Think of the possibility of more sales. Think of how confident you'll be and how much more clear you'll be and the free time you'll have, because you're not just like making so many products and taking hours and hours to make them. You remember the 20 hours a month? And everyone has a really hard time with that. When they start in our Profit by Design Academy, they go, oh, it has to be more than that. And it's like, no, it doesn't. You just have to do the right stuff. And when you do the right things, then you're retraining your body and your mind to realize that I don't have to work hard and many long hours and make a lot of products in order for me to see sales. And so then your confidence will go up, and the clarity of, oh, I don't only have to make a certain number of products. I don't have to work so hard. That will become clearer to you. And it'll allow you also then to say, okay, well, maybe I could work a couple more hours, but I could do this so effectively that I can actually grow and scale my business. But even at 20 hours, students in our Profit by Design Academy and in our higher level courses, but in the Profit by Design Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp. I've been talking too long already today, but I'm really sorry about that. In that Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp, students are growing and scaling because they realize they were taking way too much effort. So they already can physically do the work, but they weren't doing the work effectively. So now when they're doing it in 20 hours and they're being very productive, they actually have free time to relax and enjoy, and then be able to be revived and refreshed and come back to being more productive and more effective when they keep working at the things that we teach in the Profit by Design Academy, when we give you the productivity methods and the scheduling and what to do, and the guesswork is taken out of it, then all of these rewards start happening. Okay, so what are you going to do to make this mistake disappear? Mistake number 2, which is no production plan or scaling plan, means that if you do this, if you choose your niches so that you can actually target a niche in the skills and interests that you already have, that's a really great place to start, because then you are the best avatar. You already know what customers want in this area because this is your interest. This is your skills that you have, and you've brought a lot of history that you have to this, right? You've been doing it for a while. You understand the market. You understand the things that you would like to have. And so the most important thing here is that you've already taken a lot of the guesswork out of it. And obviously you can still do more research and develop other niches, but start with what you know. And then your avatar will be a lot easier to figure out. And believe it or not, there is a customer out there for you. And you might say, oh, well, I'm already putting up what I like, what I should sell. But this is where the rest of the Profit by Design Academy comes in. We help you research that niche and prove that it's truly something that could be selling. Or if it's if you're in sort of the niche, but you really don't actually understand what they want, even though you are the perfect avatar, then that's another thing, but we'll help you with that. And then the key here is the proven production plan that allows you to not only leverage what's working, but to also leverage other things that are happening in the marketplace, trending, that Zazzle's focusing in on. All of these things are going to be taught to you, and you'll be able to use this monthly plan in order to leverage those things without even thinking about all the big, heavy, high intellectual stuff that goes into this. You're just going to be able to follow up a plan. And when you're doing this plan, you're going to end up doing those things like checking the market trends and doing this and doing that. It's going to be really easy for you. Okay. And this is the thing that you need to get to $5,000 a month. Because listen, if you just say, oh, I'm just going to sell some t-shirts, well, divide the $2 royalty that you get for a t-shirt into 5,000. So you have to sell 2,500 t-shirts every single month in order to make your money, make it get to 5,000 a month. So it's going to take more than just let's sell some t-shirts. It's going to take a lot of planning and putting things into place to make sure that there's a consistent $5,000 a month coming in to your Zazzle paycheck. That's going to be really eye-opening for you, because it's then you're honest and you're really getting down to the core reasons why you're not making money, because you probably have a production plan, your own plan, and you probably think this is how you have to scale your plan, make more products. But do you know how to scale effectively? Do you know how to do products every month effectively that actually will sell? And this is so important. And it's not oh, I know what I'm doing. No, it's there's a perception of what sells and what doesn't sell. And if it doesn't sell, even though you think it should sell, then we're going to go into that in mistake number 5. But if it doesn't work and you've done everything possible to make it work, then it's just not working on the Zazzle marketplace. Maybe it works somewhere else. Maybe it works on Amazon or whatever. But on the Zazzle marketplace, if it's supposed to sell, then you can leverage it much better by using the Profit by Design Academy training. Okay, so mistake number 3, no promotion or poor promotion. So in this case, what that means is you're not promoting at all, which is really important for you to understand that you need to promote. You're not passively promoting, which is what I favor, because I really don't want you to be on Instagram all the time or on Facebook or on Twitter and then, create your own website. You can do those things, but not if you're not comfortable with them and you don't need them specifically. We really focus in on making sure that you are getting passive income passively, not just like working so hard on social media if it's not your thing. And it's not my thing. I made all my money on Zazzle without doing anything but Pinterest. Okay. The only thing that I am doing with regards to promotion is Pinterest and then all the organic promotion, which we've already talked to you about 2 organic promotions here in this challenge. On day 2, we talked about titles and tags. On day 3, we talked about collections. If you do those effectively, then that is already promotion. And it's the greatest kind because it's passive and it's organic, whatever you want to call it, but it's not you physically having to do the promotion every single day. Plus, what's really cool is that it's not salesy. It's helpful. And I love anything that makes me look like I'm helping rather than being a pushy salesperson. And so the other thing that's a mistake is if you want to scale to really big figures, you may have to do social media. Depending, and I just said that you don't have to, but depending on what you are, like, are you an artist that needs to constantly be in the limelight, or are you a photographer that's trying to build up your brand? If that's the case, then yes, you do. You do have to be on social media. But the other reasons that you have to be on social media is for the trust factor. And the trust factor is that people need to look you up. So if I look someone up on LinkedIn and then I get to, like, even though there's no, you could put anything in on LinkedIn, but people put in their bio, where they've worked and all that stuff. You read that and you go like, ooh, now I can trust this guy, or now I can trust her. And it's the same now for things like our brand, right? We need trust factors that people are willing to go and look up to see if we're the real deal, even though it's such a bunch of crazy garbage, because you can put anything up on Instagram, anything up on Facebook, whatever. But in this fake reality that we're living in 2021, there's this need for us to feel connected to the person we're buying from. And that is important. And so therefore, even though some people like go really crazy on Instagram, others don't. They're very legitimate and very open and honest and just like real. And hopefully that's what you can take from this, is that you need to be on social media as well. But only as a CV, right? And so we teach that in the Profit by Design Academy. You don't have to be like an Instagram 10,000 follower kind of person, but you need something, a presence. And so you're making a lot of mistakes if you're not doing any of these kinds of things. And so we can help you with that. Now, I also just want to talk to you about how you promote, because when you just say promotion, like if you use a promotion strategy where you just keep posting all your products up for sale and all these social media platforms, all you're saying is buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. And the customer's going like overwhelm, glaze over, scroll through, whatever. It's kind of like this purse, store. It's like, holy smokes, I can't see anything because there's so many of everything. And so you can effectively reduce that overwhelm by doing what we told you in the first part, like the mistake number 1, where you're not being professional and not showcasing your brand properly on your homepage. That we did in the day 1 challenge, and we showed you how to make your brand more effective. But while you're doing your brand, you're also using your store homepage to make it more easy for them to see some of the things you have for sale. And so that at least you get some sort of buying, rather than just having them get the message, I do everything and here's all my stuff. And that is not how people buy. They need to be told, this is really great, here it is. And then they'll actually buy. And it's so different than what we're used to and thinking. And it's what we teach in the Profit by Design Academy. And it works really, really well. So your risks, of course, are going to be there's no traffic and no sales. If you're going to not promote, you're definitely not going to have any traffic and you're not going to have any sales. You're going to be working so much harder because you're constantly not being able to get the sales, and you're going to keep working harder and harder and harder. And you're going to be like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm working really hard and like I should really get a break. But it's not because you should get a break. It's because you should stop doing the things that don't work, or you should not actually promote properly, and then you won't have to work so hard. The most important thing is the whole thing is about identity. So you're not going to have anyone know that your products even exist, and you won't be able to scale because you're not even selling in the first place, let alone selling more. And then the desperate attempt of starting to sell and sell and sell by putting more and more of your products up on like Twitter or just Instagram and just throwing things up there, then you're going to look very salesy. And so the risk there is that you're going to lose these people all together. They're just going to unfollow you or never look at your feed anymore. And so we don't want that for you at all. And then what's going to happen to you is that you're going to get disappointed and you're going to give up and you're going to get bitter and feel really unworthy that you're even going to like receive a sale. So because we work ourselves up into a little bit of a thing, right? If we've done our best and then we don't see the results, we don't blame the actions, we blame ourselves for making those choices and all that stuff. And then we actually start to go more internally and go like, well, obviously I'm not meant to be profitable on Zazzle, or obviously all my artwork sucks, or excuse my language, but like we get to that point where we're getting really graphic with our language and we're actually saying things that are not true, but we're reacting through emotion, especially through unworthiness. The feeling of unworthiness is very powerful. And all of this, it comes down to unworthiness, and because we're not promoting. And that's ridiculous now if you look at that, right? But that's where we go. So if you feel these things, it's totally true and real. And I want you to say, yes, I feel these things in the chat. Or if you're listening to this later as a podcast, just let us know later. Send us an email at support@elkaclark.com. We'd love to hear from you because this is huge. It can make the difference between you being successful and not successful just because of the fact that you get to this really dark place and you don't know how to get yourself out. And it's not because you can't do it. It's because you don't know how to take those or which action steps to take. And we'll help you because we know what those are. In fact, we've been there ourselves. And instead, look for the positive and say, okay, what rewards would I have for actually going ahead and promoting and doing a really good job of it? And so, well, that would mean, of course, more sales, the confidence and clarity that, first of all, you now know what you're doing, both in promotion, but in other places, like, okay, my business is starting to work. Like, that's confidence and clarity. Holy smokes, right? And you're going to have a lot more free time because you're not going to be wasting time doing a lot of things that don't work. You're just going to do the things that do work, working smarter. And that's going to give you the opportunity to grow and scale your business. And last but not least, boy, your worthiness meter is just going to go through the roof. You're going to say, I am so worthy of us receiving those sales now, and you're going to feel so good because sales are working. Now, make sure that you understand that you're worthy anyway. But because of how we and our society allow us to allow other people actually to assess how worthy we are, we've taken it upon ourselves to take that same judgment on ourselves. And we forget that we're worthy. We all are worthy, except that we are now looking in life and we're seeing certain things not happening to us as like, see, that's why I'm not worthy to get that. And it's just because of the things that are happening to you. But switch it around. If you start making sales, you're going to think that the same thing that you're doing in terms of your feelings about yourself are worthy. It's just that you didn't know how to take the correct actions in order to get the result you wanted. And then the worthiness is completely separated from that because you're always worthy. And I want you to hear that. So really, really important. So what are we going to do to make this mistake go away? You're going to promote routinely, but guess what? The routinely is not active. It's passive because 2 of the days of our challenge we've spent on promotion actually already. Titles and tags and branding. Okay. Or sorry, titles and tags and collection. And actually branding also is part of, we should say 3 days we've spent on promotion, but that's passive promotion. We're branding so that people know, like, and trust us so we can sell faster and quicker and we can get referrals from other people because they're going to say, look, I bought this. That's awesome. You should check out this designer. That was day 1. Then day 2, That's all about titles and tags. That's search engine optimization. So your products can be searched all over the place. That's promotion. That's promotion. And then day 3, we talked about collections and how you can leverage your collections. That's promotion. That's huge promotion, and they're all done organically. Now, the next thing that you can do is actively promote on Pinterest. But the action is very simple as well. Pin to Pinterest. That's it. Now, there's more to it, and that's where our fast action bonus comes into play. Today, you're going to be able to access our Pinterest intensive in a way that you can do it. I'll have to wait and tell you about that. You have to wait to the end of the session, but that's the next step. So first we've nailed down our passive internal promotion, and now we're going to do external active promotion. And even that's not going to be that much time and effort, and it's going to pay off big time. All right. So then the next thing that you need though is a promotion plan, one that's not salesy. And this is a little bit too, I can't go into this now, but it includes things like don't just put out products all the time. Don't just say, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. Do something else, like maybe talk about your, being an artist and showcase one of how you do your paintings, maybe a time lapse, or tell them about your studio, or, do a little interview. I love doing landscapes, put it on a reel on Instagram, or do a YouTube channel video, whatever works, or put it on a blog post, things that help you identify with your client and your customer. And that's going to help make the sale without being salesy. Then the passive promotion techniques we just talked about. And so I think that's sort of a secondary thing that's here on my slides, but they're all the things that we just talked about: collections, title tags, branding, and so on. So if you do this, put this, if you've got these locked in and you're doing an excellent job of promotion, I want to champion you and I want to say congratulations, because I want to know that. Because if that's a mistake that you're avoiding, kudos to you. Now, the question is, are you avoiding it in such a way that it's effective for you, or are you just doing an okay job and it could just blow up if you did a little bit more? That's the Profit by Design Academy, where we bring things to your attention that you may even be able to do that's even more effective. And so be careful of assuming that you know everything, that you've done everything. All right, so the next mistake is treating it as a hobby. And the treating it as a hobby is... It's one of these things where we realize, hey, actually, we're signing up for Zazzle. We want to make money on Zazzle. But then we think, because we're treating it as a hobby, we're giving ourselves an out to not make it a success. And so I feel really strongly about this, that if you signed up for Zazzle, then unless you're just doing this because it makes you feel good and it allows you to, it's your passive hobby that you're just doing and you don't care about the money, then that's perfect. But 99% of the people who are on Zazzle, they don't just want to have it as a hobby. They want to make money, ultimately. They just don't admit it, because they're afraid to fail. They're afraid to say, I'm doing this as a business, because that means there's ownership already. That means that people are ready to commit to it, and maybe they don't want to commit, right? Maybe they don't want to because if you say, I'm doing this as a business, someone's going to at some point ask you, how's your business doing? And you're going to have to say, not so good. And you don't want to do that. So that embarrassment, you'd rather not experience. So you're going to go it's my hobby. I just tinker. I just have fun. And so there's no commitment to the dollar. But in your mind, you're going I wish I was making money on this. I wish I was making money on this. And so then you start to maybe go down that process of, I really do want to make money off of this. I see so many other people. But then what happens is, because we had that sort of mindset going in, that we don't want to make it too real, because we don't want to be responsible for it. And I totally get that, because, that is something that I do a lot with a lot of things that I do. I just kind of hope no one notices. If you ever want to lose weight, you don't tell people, I'm going to lose weight, because that means you're accountable, right? But if you kind of lose weight on your own, and it's if I eat that donut now, it won't count, because no one's going to go I thought you were on a diet, right? They're not going to keep you accountable, because they don't know that you're trying to do something. And so What's happening though, when you say you're treating it as a hobby and then you move to, I actually want to make money on this, you're still using your hobby habits to take care of the Zazzle business. And so you're working on it sometimes. You don't have a goal. You don't have a strategy. You do have a goal, and it's a really high earnings goal, and you don't have a proven plan to get there. And you also don't feel either that you can do it or that you deserve to achieve that result. Because we also have big fears as a whole population. Humankind has a big fear of success. Why? Because if you're successful once, you have to keep it up. And because you don't want to be that one hit wonder or whatever. Like, there's such pressure on us. And so we actually self-sabotage a lot in order to avoid embarrassment. And so this mistake number 4 deals with a whole bunch of this stuff. Mindset, aligning your goals with your actions, and so on. And then that's why if the mistake is treating it as a hobby is no good, because all these things kind of come with it, and they actually self-sabotage your chances of even making somewhat of a success. And then to top it all off, then there's money mindset blocks, which is like, oh, okay, well, most people on Zazzle don't make very much money, so I won't make much money. That's not true. It's only for those people who got in early. That's not true. I'm not creative. I can't make money on Zazzle. That's not true. Brendan doesn't have a creative bone in his body. He's starting to learn, but he self-admitted it right at the beginning. He was like, I want to get this to work, but I don't know how to do anything creative online. Can you help me? Yes, here's the Profit by Design Academy. Sign up, then we'll get started. And sure enough, Brendan, who you'll hear about later and who I may have talked about already, he's made over $100,000 in lifetime earnings without being creative. He just knew what to do, and he knew how to make it work because he was in the Profit by Design Academy as a student, and he's still learning from that course to this day after enrolling 3 years ago.
Have you heard about our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, yet?
Are you a new or current Zazzle designer who's struggling to figure out how it works, worried that you're going to waste your time, and unsure how you can start and scale your Zazzle business to see sales fast?
The Profit by Design Academy includes everything you need to feel confident, clear, and certain about how to create your dream Zazzle business.
Building a profitable Zazzle business has never been easier, because now you have access to the 5 strategies that we use to build our $1 million Zazzle businesses.
Head to the show notes to grab the link, and we will see you inside the Profit by Design Academy. Now let's get back to the show.
Okay, so let me know if this really resonated with you. Like, either send us a message or message us on Instagram. Like like Alka Clark. That's my handle on Instagram, or Miss Jen Clark on Instagram. I almost said Mrs. Miss Jen Clark, MS. And then what you can do is you can in the chat here, if you want, you can, even if it's a replay, we want to hear you, we want to see you, and we want you to believe. We want you, start the healing process, because you can't keep going and saying, like, why is my hobby not making me money? You can't do that anymore. That's ridiculous, right? And it's funny at the same time, but it's also really, really real. And if you're saying this and you're going like, oh yeah, and you just got like called out, good. And it's not here to hurt your feelings. It's here to say, let's just do this properly so that you can actually like be upset when there's no earnings because you actually did the right thing, for example, but you at least know that you did the right thing because you haven't even tried the right thing yet. You're just always expecting something to happen when you're not even taking the effort to put in like the right actions. There's already so many things in life that are not like a guarantee. So we want to at least get the ones that we can take control of and make those as much of a guarantee as possible. So what are your risks of treating it as a hobby? I think we've covered a lot of them already because I went on a little bit of a talk here because it's so passionate of me. It's a passion of mine because I'm so passionate about it because it's me. I had all of these blocks. I had all these issues and I realized I'm making this stuff up. Like, I know it's really real for me at this point, but I'm just making this up in my reality. I don't have to keep living with that reality. And so your risk is living it with your reality like that and thinking that that's all you can achieve, and that and that you're going to be frustrated all the time because you're never going to reach that goal that you've made because you've made it too high initially and you don't do the actions to get there. And then it's actually going to start to validate things like, oh, I don't deserve this, or I can't do this. And you're going to start to believe that. And you don't have to believe that. You're just using the current situation that you have and the results you've gotten as a way to make an assumption about what your potential is. I don't even know you, and I know your potential is higher. I know that because everyone in this world underestimates their potential. It's because of all the programming and conditioning that we've gone through since we were babies. And so that, grade 3 teacher that told you can't read properly, or, you're not good at numbers, or, that was a terrible drawing, so really you shouldn't go to art school, or, you're never really very good at taking photographs, and that was your lifelong dream, and it's just shattered because one person said something, and then, you don't do well on Zazzle, and that's another reason why all of a sudden, see, I'm not making money on this either, so it's not working, so I don't deserve to have it, or I can't do it. And that's totally, totally wrong. Every single person has more potential than they think they have. It's just that they haven't used the proper ways to fulfill that potential. And the Profit by Design Academy actually really helps you get better at Zazzle to the point where you can fulfill your own potential, because you ultimately still have to do the work, right? We're just guiding you there. All right. So, and the last part here is the validating of the money mindset blocks. If you are, for example, in the Zazzle forum, which is quite a negative space, I actually don't go in there anymore. There's a lot of people in there that are very bitter, and they say, oh, you won't be able to make much more money, and that the money that I make is not true. And it's like, oh my gosh, what kind of stories do you want to tell yourself to make your money mindset blocks real? And our students are now realizing that they had money mindset blocks because they also were living in this reality where they were trying really hard, but they weren't making the money. So they assumed that this was not a way to make money. And it is a way to make money, because now that they've done the training in the Profit by Design Academy, they're making money like crazy. And I'll show you some of those people at the end of the presentation. I'll talk to you about Christine and Brandon and Susan and Wendy and Gree and Tammy and so many more. And the reason that they are doing well now is because they avoided this mistake big time. Because they go like, holy smokes, I didn't realize so much was holding me back. They got rid of all of these issues because they were making this mistake before. Not only just treating it as a hobby, but all these mindset blocks and the ability to believe in yourself. And so I want you, I know you've probably said, oh, I feel this. I feel this. That's really, really important for me. That's like the win for me. Whether you sign up for my Profit by Design Academy training or not, the win for me is that you believe yourself more, have more potential. You yourself believe that you have more potential than you think you do. Because that's the beginning. The belief is the first part. It's the starting point. Even though you think that's the end point, or you don't even need to deal with that, the belief is the first point. I can tell you every piece of information that's necessary, and you will not do well until you believe that you can do it. And I want you to believe it because I actually believe you. I believe in you. And so believe in yourself. How far you get, what number of dollars you make, where this leads you to, I don't know that. But I do know that you need to believe in yourself more so than you are, so that you can actually just see what kind of potential you do have by letting all that go, and so that you're not weighted down by all the things you can't do. All right. And so the other thing that you're going to get as a reward out of this, not besides the lifting of the heavy weight that's on your shoulders, is that you're going to understand that you can actually start thinking about greater rewards. When I first started out, I was just really happy to replace my income. And I initially, I was thinking big already. I was saying, as long as I make more than what I made in my day job, I'll be happy. And so I was aiming for 6 figures. And guess what? On my first year, I made $90. Wow. And I was like, so don't quit your day job until you start your Zazzle business starts to work for you. Because my husband was there as a backup for income, but I made a huge mistake by not doing the right thing first, by making my Zazzle business build up, and then I quit my day job. But the idea was always for me to replace my day job income so that I could stay home with the kids. That was my goal. That was my huge reward. It was like, if I could do this, I'd be in heaven, right? Well, then after a while, I realized that it was possible, and I did it. And I had that time with my kids, and I had that money, and I paid off my bills, and I paid for them to go to, school, and gave them like a really good life. And so then I realized, though, that I could do more. And so my rewards started getting bigger and greater. And I'm now I'm working on making enough money on Zazzle to create my own mental health foundation, because that's a thing that's near and dear to my heart. And so I would have never dreamt something like that when I first started. And that's because I was thinking small, because I didn't think I was worthy of anything more, or that I personally could do it. And now, because I've done one thing, I can do more. And I want you to think like that. I want you to not overextend yourself so that you get disappointed, but I want you to go okay, I'm going to try this now, and I'm going to get to this level, and then I'm going to get to this level, because my ultimate dream is this. And so that's getting the greater rewards, because there is so much that you can do once you start to earn the money. And this is what I want for you. I want you to feel worthy. I want you to dream big, but be realistic, and make sure that you have a plan to get there, so that you don't feel disappointed and give up before you can see your full potential, and believe that you have the potential to do whatever you want. Everyone starts out at zero. Steve Jobs started out at zero. Who else do we want to talk about that some people do or don't like? Elon Musk, but he started out at zero. He starts at zero every single time, because he goes all in, and he sells everything that he has, and so that he can believe in the next company that he's going to build out. And this is really important, that not that I want you to sell everything, but he believed in himself so much that he knew he was going to get back. He invested everything because he knew he was going to get it back, because he knew what actions to take. And so once you start to feel like you're good and comfortable in taking the actions that you need to take, you can take bigger risks, and therefore you can take bigger reward. You can expect bigger rewards. And that's what I want for you. Okay, so how do we do this with the Zazzle business to start with? And not before, we're the next SpaceX company or something like that. Although that's a possibility for any one of us. We can do whatever we want, right? We have the most amazing time in history to be able to just break down all barriers and do whatever it is that we feel passionate about. And every one of us has the ability to be the next something. And it's so cool. And especially on Zazzle, there are no barriers. You can put stuff up and you can make things work for yourself. And so I think that's really important for you to remember. So, but to make this mistake go away, stop treating your business as a hobby. I want you to treat it as a business. And that might be something like, I don't know what that means. And it means all the things that we've been talking about. Have an action plan, be productive, take action, take the right action, know what action to take, be targeted and specific, and all those things, and avoid all of mistakes number 1 to 5. And by doing that, you're going to end up working smarter. You're going to have an earnings goal and a proven plan to get you there. You're going to align your mindset and productivity with your goal that you want to earn, and you're going to believe in yourself, right? That's where it starts. Because then you're also going to believe that it's possible for you to run this as a business, and then we'll stop calling it a hobby. You can call it a side hustle. You can call it your main business, but the main thing is to not call it a hobby anymore. And then you deserve to be happy. So believe it. All right. Mistake number 5, and that is not analyzing your results and taking action. And taking action is obviously near and dear to my heart. I keep talking about that. You can think and affirm and believe it as much as possible, and that's part of it, but you have to take action, and you have to take the right action. So, but how do you know what action to take? By analyzing your results. And so by making this mistake of not analyzing your results and not taking action, what that means is you're not reviewing your progress properly and you're not changing what you're doing. And that means because if something's not working that you're doing and you don't even know that it's not working for you and you think it is working, so you keep working at it, then you're just going to waste your time. And the most important thing is sometimes because you're so busy working on what you think you should be working on, even though that's not working for you, you don't actually notice what's working unless you analyze it. And that's a really like a sad thing, because that's the glimmer of hope. That's the crocus coming out of the dirt and in the spring where it just sort of pops out and plants start to grow. Well, you're in the middle of still seeing the dead leaves and the dark winter, and you don't notice the crocus until it's all of a sudden out, right? And this is what's happening with these things on Zazzle, where you're seeing the glimmer of hope of some sales amongst all the other stuff that you're doing that's not working. And then you maybe don't notice it right away and you don't leverage it properly right away. And that allows you not to scale as much and as quickly and as effectively as if you were to analyze properly constantly and be able to see those things and leverage them right away. If you're watching this or listening to this on a podcast or on YouTube, then make sure that you, or even in one of our things that we've given you as a webinar that you can listen to, make sure that you really understand this point. And I want you to be like all in. I go like, holy smokes, I didn't even realize I needed to do this. And be honest with yourself, because it's really, 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 and I'm going to keep saying really, 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 really important. Because you could be avoiding all the mistakes from 1 to 4, but if you are making mistake number 5 of not analyzing your results and taking the right action, then you're not going to get anywhere. You can have the best branding, you can have the most amazing products. If you don't leverage them, if you don't build them up, then you're never going to scale. You're never going to be able to get to the 5K months. And so this is the very important thing. And the first thing you have to do is, it's like Alcoholic Anonymous. You got to say, I have a problem. I have a problem of making this mistake. And so be honest with yourself, and then we can start working with you, because normally you go like, oh, no, I'm like, I don't, numbers stress me out. I don't want to do this. I can't handle this. Don't ask me to do this. I'll do everything else, but I can't do numbers. And, can't I already be successful without doing numbers? No. So no, you have to do the numbers. Now, the thing is that look at all the risks that you're taking by not doing this. Yes, there's a lot of emotion involved in that. Creatives don't feel comfortable with numbers. We all in general don't want to talk about even money, let alone numbers, and watch. And also, we don't like. Remember, I said at the beginning that we don't want to know our numbers because maybe it's actually good, and that means we have to, do something about it. So, the risk here is that you're not even finding out. But you maybe even know that it might be good, but you don't want to know that it's good, because then you might have to actually, step up and do your business, and that's scary. And so the not knowing and not doing what's not working and keep doing that, and then not getting ahead because you're not doing the stuff that is working, that's going to give you, that's the downside of doing this mistake. And you can see now that that's huge, because we're doing all the fun things, we're making collections, we're promoting on Pinterest, and then all of a sudden we go like, why isn't it working? It's because we're not actually looking to see what's working and what's not working. And it's not like just a general statement like, I don't know what's working, or I don't know what's wrong. Zazzle must, I don't like Zazzle, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's where we all fall into that just quick emotional escape into, because we're out of our comfort zone with this, knowing our numbers, we go to avoidance. And the avoidance is the risk that we are taking the most. And I didn't put it down here. But if we really want to be honest with ourselves, it's avoidance of trying to see whether we're even capable of doing this. And I really want you to just say, okay, honestly, let me work through this. I know that I'm trying to avoid this, but now I need to do this. Otherwise, I'm not going to be moving forward. Okay. So, but if you're going to avoid it, guess what? You're going to get greater rewards. You're going to get more sales. You're going to be more confident and clear about what's going on. And guess what? You're not going to be stressed out about, and I didn't even put this here on the slide, but you're not going to be stressed out about, being able to repeat that success. And you're also going to, because you're going to know what works. It's going to be empowering for you. It's going to be so empowering for you to be able to say, guess what? I got this to work and I know how I did it, and I can actually feel confident it's going to happen again. All through COVID, I know exactly what I'm going to be making every single month on Zazzle. Why? Because I set my business up properly with using the 5 strategies, and I know exactly what those 5 strategies are doing for me. And I know that they've been set up properly so that I can predict my income. Even when things happen like COVID, which just threw a wrench in a lot of people's earnings in 2020. But as you'll even hear, some of our students did their best years in 2020 because they had all the 5 strategies set up, which are the things that we teach in the Profit by Design Academy. And they avoid these 5 mistakes. So this is what you're going to have to do to get there. You're going to have to do a monthly review of your progress. And it's like, what? Yes, monthly. And you're probably going like, I just agreed to do that like once maybe. No, you're going to do it monthly. And you're going to review not just your sales, but you're going to also review how many hours you worked, what your production was, like how many products you made, and your promotion. Now, if you're in the Profit by Design Academy, what we do is we teach you how to work effectively and get results with 20 hours a month and 100 products made. And we give you a ton of like ideas as to how to do the promotion, but it's based on what you want to do. And so, but you're going to monitor if you end up doing that, right? So that we always get a promotion factor in there, because remember, one of the mistakes is you're not promoting. So we need to get you to promote in some way or another. And then, so you're going to monitor sales, hours, production, and promotion per month. And you're going to start to feel really good about this because you're going to be more accountable, and you're going to also see things that you assumed that you were actually wrong on your assumptions. Like maybe you said, oh, I worked so many hours, and then really you only worked 5 hours, but they were really stressful hours. So you felt like it was like forever. And so 3 weeks later, you think you worked a lot of hours, but you maybe really didn't. And so by writing it down, monitoring it, reviewing it, you're going to have some data that you're going to be able to look at and make sure that you can see your progress. And the thing that's the most eye-opening is everyone always says to me in our courses and things, it's like there's highs and lows, right? Obviously, that's part of business. Sometimes you have a really great month and you're all excited. Then other months you're not like so excited because you're getting less money earned compared to the high month that you had. And so what we do then is we go like, well, check your earnings from last year. And always, the people who are like in a slump and they're all upset, they're not making any money, this isn't working for me, they go back to their month last year after being in the course. If they've been like, if they were in the course, if they started in March, so like, let's say we're in April right now. So let's say they started in March and now they see their March results because now it's April. And then you go like, okay, and they're really upset that they didn't get really good results, but they've been in the Profit by Design Academy for a year. So then we say, okay, well, what were your results from last year? And they go look them up and they go like, wow, I didn't realize that I only made that little the year before. And I've made so much more this year, even though I didn't make as much as I made the month before. And it's like, okay, perspective. Now you know your numbers. And the change in the attitude is very drastic. And it makes you understand that you need those numbers. You need those numbers to put things into perspective and to help you understand where you're going and what you can do in your business. It's super empowering. And we're going to teach you how to do that really easily in the Profit by Design Academy so that you don't have to feel uncomfortable about numbers, okay? We make it really easy, very little in terms of like spreadsheets and all that stuff. If that scares the heck out of you and you don't want to do Excel or whatever, we've got you covered. We help you through that. We've got ways for you to learn and know your numbers without doing a lot of like major math and or spreadsheets. And so then you'll be able to stop doing what doesn't work because you're going to figure that out. We're going to show you how to figure that out. And we're going to show you how to figure out what works so that you can do more of it. So this is really great. So if you're making this mistake and now you're doing, if you're not making this mistake and these are the things you're doing, I want to commend you. This is awesome. But I also want to ask you, are you doing enough of this? Because you might think that you're doing enough, but maybe you're not doing enough with what you see and what you find. And you're not leveraging that enough to just explode your sales. And this is where like more close touch points come with people, right? Like our our membership and our masterminds and our one-on-ones, where people can explode their income from, like Brandon, for example, 30,000 to 60,000. That's where he started in the mastermind. He was making 30,000. He joined one of our masterminds and he said, how can I double my income? But I can't see that happening this year. And this was June. And by the end of that year, he had actually more than doubled his income because of the things we talked to him about in the mastermind. And so think of this as a long-term process that you're going to be with us for a while, and you're going to learn from us and we're going to help you walk through each of the stages that you experience in your business. Okay, so that's the end of the mistakes. How many of these do you do? And how many of these do you want to avoid? And I'm sure that your answer will be all. So write in the chat, all. Even though you're doing a replay, I'm going to watch the chat. I'm going to see it and I'll know. So make sure you write it in the chat. If you're watching this as a podcast, make sure you just say all to yourself. I do all of these. Oh my gosh, this is not good. No wonder I'm not doing well on Zazzle. Or thank God I know about these right now, because if I would have started on my own in Zazzle, I would have never thought to avoid these mistakes. And I'm just so glad that I'm not going to waste all that time now, because I'm going to make sure I do all these things. So you're going to have one of those two reactions. And more than likely, 90%, every time we do this talk, 90% of the people who are with us, they all have like all. And it's true. And this is why the Profit by Design Academy is so good. Because these are the things that are the most important that you fix in your business in order for you to do well in Zazzle. And the Profit by Design Academy has the 5 proven step-by-step strategies that confidently help you start to confidently scale your Zazzle business and start selling fast, even in uncertain times. And that's why the 5 strategies, which are listed here, establish, create, announce, align, and analyze, they line up with the mistake. So establish, which is the first strategy, avoids mistake number 1. Create, which is the second strategy, avoids mistake number 2. You're starting to get the hang of this. Announce, which is the third strategy, or promotion, is the one that avoids mistake number 3. Align avoids mistake number 4, and analyze avoids mistake number 5. And this is all taught in the Profit by Design Academy. By the time you're done, you will have implemented these 5 strategies. And that's why we feel so strongly about you completing the course, not just, enrolling in it. And we invite you to join the Profit by Design Academy. At this point in time, we're actively in pre-enrollment, which means that you're actually going to get a special, because we're starting enrollment on Saturday, the 17th of April, 2021. If you're watching this later, or hearing this later, you're going to get a different date. But you can check in with us at elkaclark.com and you'll see where we are in the next time that we launch this. But right now, we're asking you, if you're watching this now, to join us in the Profit by Design Academy, because we first of all have a discount for you because we're in pre-launch, and also because we have an extra fast action bonus today. And so, is this actually a course that's ready for you, or like meant for you? And listen, if you want to get to the first 5K month of your Zazzle business, like make 5,000 in 1 month, I can't tell you when you're going to do it, but if that's your goal, to get to $5,000 a month, then this is the program for you. The Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp helps our students get to that $5,000 a month. And this is really important because you can do it on your own. Possibly. But you can also do it quicker and faster and more effectively, and maybe even reach a higher potential than you ever thought possible if you do this training. So these lovely ladies trusted us way back when, 2.5, 3 years ago now, I guess. Time keeps flying by. Gree has earned $50,000 since joining the Profit by Design Academy. Wendy has earned $65,000. And Tammy has earned $25,000. They all started at the beginning when we first started doing our courses, when there was nobody that said, oh, Gree makes this much money because of the course. No, they just heard that we had made money doing the 5 strategies, and they wanted to know too. And they wanted to start becoming successful, and they didn't wait. They just took action, and they just enrolled, and they said, tell me what to do. I need to do this. I trust you. And 2.5 years later, that trust is paid off. And unfortunately, these numbers are already out of date. I apologize for that, because 25, and the Gree's number is closer to 65. Wendy's closer to almost 85. And I don't know what Tammy's number is, but she gave me that number back in January, and now it's April. And I know she's really crushing it as well. So, and then I do know that these numbers are accurate, except for Susan. She's already at 100,000 because she just told me that the other day. And so, but Christine and Brandon are neck and neck here for the top leaders in our program at the moment. And Brandon has earned over $100,000 a month, in lifetime earnings. And Christine has earned over $150,000 in lifetime earnings. Now, you can do this on your own if you want, because you know what the 5 strategies are now. But do you have the plan to put it into action? And Brandon on his own, and he's already in business, he's very successful in a corporate job. On his own, on Zazzle, he couldn't make more than $500 a year. And for 5 years, he struggled. So he made $2,500 in 5 years. Then in 3 years, because he joined, as soon as we made the courses up, he joined. And since then, he's made over $100,000. That's working 20 hours a month and following the Profit by Design Academy training. Christine, same sort of thing. She started 2 years on her own and thought actually that 130 was a cool amount, a good amount of money to make on Zazzle. Then she realized people are making more than that. And she goes I'm in on this. What else can I do to create a really good store that would sell and serve her customer so that she can make more money? And so she went into the Profit by Design Academy, and within a very short time period made back her tuition. And then the next year, she 10 times her income. And then last year in 2020, during COVID, she made $100,000. And so that's really wonderful for her. We're so excited for her. And this year, she's already in 2021, for January, February, March, April, she has doubled the amount. Remember, I talked about how we tell people, look at your earnings from the year before. What did you do last April? What did you do last March? So by looking at her last year's data, avoiding mistake number 5, she has realized that she is double of her earnings. So in this year, in January, in February, in March, she is already double what she made last year. And so she's very confident and clear that she's going to be making at least $200,000 this year in 1 year. And I can't wait for her to do it. And so now she's gone from wondering if $130 was a good amount to earn, to realizing that she can own her own business, be in control of how she manages it, and actually be in control of how much she's earning. And I think that's a testament to our long-term passive income strategy that we teach in the Profit by Design Academy. It's really important that you set up the foundation properly and that you are ready to stay long-term and to build your business up. And then when you've built your business up, then you start to generate a predictable long-term passive income. And that's where we are with some of these students here. And Susan, she's another wonderful story, because what she's done and said, she said that she wanted to earn more money, but not work so hard at it. And she saw our program, and she said that she would work hard for a year, set everything up in place, and then she was going to have fun because she wanted to retire. And so that was 3 years ago. And she did work hard for that first year. And then since then, she's not even in our Facebook group anymore because she doesn't want to be involved. She's just letting her income ride. And she's working 4 hours a month on her Zazzle business to maintain it. She still has access to the Profit by Design Academy training, but she is pretty hands off, and she has built her business up from, she had made 12,000 before she joined with us, and now she's over almost 100,000. Actually, over 100,000 now. And I know it says 88,000 there, but it's over now. So what about you? Are you interested in signing up? And I just want you to ask this question. What would happen in 3 years from now? Would you be here being showcased and maybe even having a higher income than Christine and Brandon? Who knows, right? You don't know until you try it. And I want you to understand, how much can you do on your own? What would be your number? And how much would it be if you were part of the Profit by Design Academy? How much different would it be? What could be that change that would allow you to actually reach those bigger rewards? And how would that feel to you that you are like that successful? And if that's the case, then there's no other question here. It's just, let's join today and let's get started on the training. I'm here for you. Jen's here for you. Our team is here for you. We believe in you, but you have to get started. And the only way you can do that is to join the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp. And so our fast action bonus for today is, and it's only today, it's April 15th. And this is only today. So if your sales if your purchase comes in after the 15th, then unfortunately you don't get this as a bonus, but this is a Pinterest intensive. It's a live session that we do every so often because Pinterest changes so often, and we give you the latest dibs on what to do and how to leverage Pinterest. And it's normally $300. It's not $297. And so we're going to add that in as part of your bonus for signing up today on April 15th, 2021. If you're signing up later, you don't get that bonus. But if you signed up between the 12th of April and now the 15th, then you will get that bonus. So, because we treat our people who act fast, who are already signing up in the beginning of our launch cycle here, then we will give you that bonus as well. Okay. So, but if you're signing up tomorrow, your bonus, you have to pay $397 to get be part of this Pinterest intensive. And it's always the most popular thing that we do in our live trainings, other than the Profit by Design Academy, because Pinterest changes so much and you need that help. And so we're excited to be able to offer you that as an extra incentive. So please go to alkaclark.com/PDA. And that's a P as in Peter, D as in dog, A as in Andrew, dash, not underscore, dash, bootcamp. And it's all one word. And so you're going to go there, and the link is probably in the podcast show notes or description, or it's in the YouTube channel video or wherever, but you've got your link somewhere, but it's alkaclark.com/PDA-bootcamp. And if you can't find it, you can actually go to alkaclark.com and then go to work with us. And in there, it's actually listed as one of the opportunities to click on, and then you'll see the sales page. And in that, you're going to see this opportunity here to invest, and you will not see the fast action bonus. It will not be there. You have to just trust us that you're going to get that if you sign up on April 15th, 2021 before midnight PST. And otherwise, the bonus for the Pinterest is not there. And then you're going to save $1,000. And that is going to that's your early bird special that we have in place until the 17th of April. And if you do that, then you're going to take that $3,497 and you're going to reduce it to $2,497. And this is really, really important for you to understand that this price is a really good price, and that the early bird special reducing the $1,000 ends April 16th at midnight PST, and then after that, it goes to $3,497. And so we're excited to have you in at the $2,497 price to get $22,000 and $22,500 worth of investment. And that is what we want for you today, is a good, reasonable price for you to get in to have a massive value. And we have payment plans. If you want the payment plan, you have to message us privately, whatever you'd like to do. Instagram, my handle is Elka Clark, just Elka Clark, like at Elka Clark. And that's ELKECLARKE. I say it so fast. Elka, ELKECLARKE. And Jen is Miss MS Jen Clark with an E. Okay, so, and one N for Jen. And the bonus code for the early bird special is right here in the button, so you can't miss it, but you have to remember it for when you get to the sales page. And if you're on the sales page, and I'm showing this here in the slides, if you're watching this later, or then that's great. You won't be able to apply this bonus. We would love to have you in the not only the Profit by Design Academy, but in this boot camp, in this Pinterest intensive. It's always a real big showstopper. We do a lot in here to help you open your eyes as to what is possible on Pinterest to really leverage that referral income that you can make, and that can actually increase your income by 35%. And so that's a huge bonus if you can make it work for yourself. And you get that as part of your fast action bonus if you sign up today. And so thank you so much for joining us here. This is our one last slide with the website, elkaclark.com/PDA-bootcamp. And so thank you so much for joining us. And we'd love to see you in the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp. And we know you'll come here sooner or later. And then also the other thing that is really important is if you've already been in the bootcamp or you've been a Profit by Design Academy member, you can always come in again and be part of the next bootcamp. So again, message us. We have a private, very, very, very big discount special for you to redo the bootcamp. And then you'll be able to come in for the April 19th 10-week bootcamp. So thank you so much for watching. And we will see you in the challenge tomorrow, which is day 5. You're going to hear a lot about the proof that it's possible to make money online. And we're going to have a Q&A session where you can ask questions and get your questions ready. It's going to be awesome so that you can really understand how we can help you, what's necessary for you to get moving forward in your Zazzle business, and maybe get clear on what you need for your business to move forward, to move the needle in the direction that you want to go. Thank you so much for listening to The Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur with Jen and Elka Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to start and scale your Zazzle business so that you can have the passive online income to have location and time freedom to live your dream life.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce business.
And don't forget to take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories and tag us at Miss Jen Clark and at Elka Clark. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from today's episode. See you back here next week.